For those of you just signing on, you're at the right place. This is the webinar on simple strategies to win the SEO game. And you're thinking, I didn't even know it was a game, but maybe you'll find out soon. We will start at 8:30 as advertised.
Will we be able to see the participants? Can they have their videos on?
I don't think so.
Okay.
According to my computer clock, it's 8:28. So a couple minutes, we will be underway. Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar. Before we begin, just a quick note as to who and what SCORE is. My name is David Boster. I'm the chairman of Bucks County SCORE. We are the local chapter of a national, all-volunteer, nonprofit organization. Our mission is very simple. Help grow small businesses, help entrepreneurs begin in their business life. We have over 50 volunteers here in Bucks County, and the way in which we help small business and entrepreneurs is by offering seminars and workshops and webinars like this one. They cover all aspects of business, from writing a business plan to selling a business. In addition to these types of activities, we provide free confidential mentoring face-to-face with one of our experienced volunteers. You can have as many sessions as you like. Having a mentor helps you guide your way through the process of starting a business, or if you have a business and you're facing challenges, we have plenty of experienced people in our organization. So enough of that. If you'd like to schedule a mentor, attend a seminar, or even volunteer to join SCORE, we welcome you. You visit our website at buckscounty.score.org. Enough of the commercial. Let's get on to why you're here. I'd like to introduce Jennifer Gardella. She is a PhD. She is a very sought-after speaker. She speaks in small groups, in seminars. She's a keynote speaker on social media. She has many, many clients. A lot of small business have worked with her. Her background is in psychology and analytics, which makes social media sort of an ideal marriage of the two. I could go on and on with her resume, but she gets embarrassed. So enough of this, and hello to Jennifer.
Well, hi there, Dave. Thanks so much for having me on today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to bring up my PowerPoints. Okay. So, Dave, can you see my screen now?
You're good.
Great. So, hi everyone. My name is Dr. Jennifer Gardella. I am a social media consultant working out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania. A big shout out to my friends at SCORE, Linda, Charles, Dave, and Tony, who asked me to come and speak with you today. And special love goes out to Jonathan Mercer and the team at Stacks for helping me all week make sure that my tech for this event is right on point. My house is quiet. We have 2 college students and 2 high school students currently not using the Wi-Fi. I also have, as I explained to the team this morning when I got online, the slides for this presentation right now are available to you on slideshare.net. If you find my account, there's also going to be a video that is already available actually on YouTube that I recorded late last night. So if you have a tech problem or if I have a tech problem, the information will still be available. So
Jennifer, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention something. On the bottom of your screen is a Q&A box. It says Q&A.
Okay.
If you hit that, you write down questions that you would like Jennifer to address. I collect those questions, and in the time remaining, we'll get to as many as we can. So feel free to ask any question as it comes up. We also record this. You'll get a link in the email. So sit back, relax, and enjoy it. I'm out.
So I will not be moderating comments during the presentation, but that is a great point. So please write all your comments down. So like I said, my name is Jen Gardella. I help clients build a significant digital foundation. That's what SEO is all about. I'm available for individual meetings, personalized monthly support, small group trainings, as was already mentioned, speaking engagements. You can find all you need to know about me on jennifergardella.com, so I won't bore you with any more details. I want to give you some hope, though, especially during this time of our lives. Just about every single thing that I have done out there on the internet, I have done myself. That doesn't mean I figured it all out on myself. I've had a lot of help along the way. But you do not have to be spending a tremendous amount of money to build your digital foundation. Also, I want to be clear that in preparing for this talk today, I looked over the comments that many of you wrote in with your registrations for the event. I think I've covered everything that I have expertise in. And if something isn't covered, or if it's not covered to the point where you would like it covered, I'm happy to answer questions, and I'll give you all the information on how to contact me. Okay, so the first thing that we really need to understand is, why are we doing any of this? Why is SEO important? Why are you bothering to blog and put out a Google My Business page? Why do we care about your website? And the goal of what we want to learn today, and the goal of SEO, is to be found in search. When someone goes into Google looking for your goods and services, I want to make sure that your website is positioned so that Google knows that you're an expert and shows your ideal client your information and your website. Building a strong digital foundation allows us to build your know, like, and trust factor. And not to get too corny, but people buy from people. People want to work with people. And the more that they can see you out there in the world, whether it's on a blog or on video, the better. I also want you to have a strong digital foundation for connections and relationships. We're in a time of our lives right now where we can't get out and go to those networking events, even if it's just the office or co-working space or see other people. So the online environment is becoming more and more important, and quite honestly, this is your time to build it. Your online presence also really helps you when someone confirms your name. If I recommend you to one of your ideal clients, they're inevitably going to look you up before they pick up the phone. So we want to make sure that your presence there supports what they're looking for. And we have a social media presence so that you stay top of mind. You're connected with people who might not need you right now, but you leave a trail of breadcrumbs so that when they do need you, they remember your name and they look you up. But the most important part of SEO is, I shouldn't say that, all of SEO is important. One of the important factors is to be realistic about SEO. This is a long-term build. You don't put up one blog post this afternoon and expect 1 million clients to be rushing in your door. I always tell my clients it's going to take about 6 months of active blogging, social media, and paying attention to your SEO to have a substantial difference in your Google rankings. In fact, your digital foundation, as we build it, may not bring in a single connection, but we do know that each piece is absolutely critical to the SEO puzzle. We know that all of this just has to be done. And honestly, if you want anything else, if you want to start doing video ads or Facebook ads, if you do want a strategic social media campaign, you do need to do these critical pieces of SEO first. Digital marketing advertising, so Google ads or Facebook ads, are heavily influenced by what else is out there about you on the internet. So make sure that that base foundation is laid for you. Now, SEO will not sell your goods and services for you. There are many things that have to be happening behind the scenes in your business. I've worked with many clients in the past who at first say, hey, Jen, I'm going to pay you to do my blogging and my social, so now I don't have to go to any more networking events. Absolutely not. Networking, making sure you have a great sales process, making sure that you have a funnel to put people through when they call is still very important. And a word of caution, as I looked through the people who were going to be on this call today, there was 1 or 2 of you who said, you know what, I'm already working with an SEO company, I just want to know more about it. This is an excellent thing to do. I'm actually hired often to do private consultations with CEOs, marketing directors, because they want to make sure that the SEO company that they're working with is doing exactly what they need to be doing. So 2 tips if you are working with an SEO company, and there are some great ones in this area, but even if you're working with me, I always tell my clients, don't give me full control of your website or any of your social media accounts. What can happen is if you give me admin privileges, I can go in and change your passwords, and then I own your accounts. And there are companies out there that will do this. And never sign on with a company that guarantees you first page rankings in Google. It's impossible for me to say that in 2 weeks, in 5 days, in a month, that I can guarantee you a first page placement in Google. When that is happening, and there are companies that are doing this, they are actually doing something to the back end of your website that can get you penalized in the Google system. So please, this is a slow build that has to be done the right way, and that's what we're going to go over today. So I just want to let you know some free resources that are available. The slides, a video of this presentation that I did last night, but a video of this, a presentation like this, I should say, is available for you at Jennifer Gardella /Gore March 2020. I'm also running a telesummit right now. Go to jennifergardella.com. You'll see telesummit at the top of my website. It wasn't very planned out. I'm just trying to put out videos so that small business owners can use this time productively to build their social media, digital marketing presence, and this pre-recorded video will be available on my YouTube channel. So I'm trying to put out as much as I can to help you during this time, because you have the time to build, and it's an amazing time to start to build all this. So let's just get started and say that I know that you are overwhelmed. I know that many small business owners out there, SEO and digital marketing confuses the heck out of them. You've tried different things, your site is still not ranking, you really don't know how to get your business positioned in that magical Google Maps search box. But what's really annoying to you probably is that your competitors are ranking and you are completely overwhelmed. So I love this slide. My goal is to get you out of overwhelm. So I know that you're overwhelmed also, I should say, because I sat in your seat. So when I entered the SEO game, I actually was hired by a friend who had a divorce law firm in New Jersey. And within a couple of weeks, he noticed that his phone stopped ringing. He said that it was a time in the digital marketing world where SEO, blogging, and social media became very important, and he didn't stay on top of it because he didn't think he needed to. So I was hired to come on board and help him out with that. Within 4 months of we rewrote the website, we put out a very strategic social media campaign, and we started blogging consistently. We owned that first page on the top spot of Google again. And when I graduated with my PhD from Rutgers, I realized I had a very interesting skill set in helping small business owners. So that's my goal, get as many of you guys out of overwhelm, especially today with SEO. So SEO is making sure that your website is ready. When your ideal customers and clients come looking for your products, I want your website to be at the top of the list, both in the local results and also in Google organic search. Now, there are a ton of factors that go into SEO. These aren't in order necessarily. Some are technical and some are content related. So some are related to blogging, and then some are actually related to what goes on the back end of your site. The most important thing for me is content. That's what I do. I'm not a technical SEO person. We do get into a little technical SEO, which I'll explain, but for the most part, I take care of your content. You want your website to have a single focus for your business. What that means is that if you do a whole lot of things, this happens a lot with attorneys, where they want to be a jack of all trades. So they may do a little real estate, they may do a little divorce, they may do wills and estates, and what happens is they wind up with this website that's actually talking about too many things. It's easy to bring it all under one umbrella, but you need to make sure that your website has a single focus. You also need to make sure that you are consistently adding new content to your website. This is in the form of website articles, which are your core business areas, and also blogging. We want you to have a big website. Now, this is Google's rule, not mine. They consider you to be an expert in what you do. One of the factors is if you have a big website. So if you have some competitors out there that have been blogging for 5 years, their websites are naturally going to be bigger than yours. A big website is very important. Linking is incredibly confusing to understand, and I will, in my telesummit in the next couple of days, put up a linking video. But linking is making sure that your blog posts are linked, hyperlinked, to your core business area pages on your website. It's also making sure that in your blog posts, you cite, link to other outside sources. And the hardest one to get is to make sure that outside websites link back to you. I'm going to explain that last piece because it's the hardest to get, and again, something that you have the opportunity to work on while we're all sitting at home. So if you want to have credible websites that link back to yours, that looks like guest blog posting. It can also look like podcast guesting, which is really fun. I've done a lot of that lately. It takes time. You need to make connections. If you're going to do guest blog posting, you're going to have to write a blog. But reach out to friends or to bigger publications that you want to be associated with and ask them if you can guest on either their podcast or their blog. Now, another really important factor if you're drilling down in the SEO game is NAP, name, address, phone number. This is making sure that your business name and your address are consistent no matter what site anyone looks for you on. Google looks at that consistency as part of your expertise. And there is a theory out there that even street, S-T-R-E-E-T, spelled out, needs to be spelled out consistently if that's what you do. At a minimum, make sure that your website, your Google listing, and your social media accounts all have that consistent address. Social indicators. there's some research that shows that social indicators, meaning your blog posts shared in different areas such as LinkedIn or on Facebook that point back to your site, have some help, can provide some help with SEO. And I'll stop here and say that when individuals go looking for your goods and services, some are looking on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and there's SEO in those social media platforms as well. The last piece that's important, the last factor that I want you to know about is traffic. How many people visit your website? And what do they do when they're on there? So Google is going to consider you an expert in what you do if people come to your website. That kind of makes sense. Google also looks for what do they do when they're on your website. Do they come onto a blog post and then bounce right off? That's called your bounce rate. Or do they come to your website and realize that you have all the information that they need and they spend a lot of time on your website? So the numbers that you get for traffic and what they do when they're with you are very critical for your SEO. I want to first talk about the content of your website. Now, I can't stress this enough. Consistently adding high quality content to your website is, by all experts, the #1 way that you can help your website now. You should have articles written about your core business areas, meaning whatever it is that you do. So if you're a landscaper, I know that we have some landscapers that signed up for our webinar today. Welcome. So if you're a landscaper, you're going to talk about mowing lawns, trimming trees. Those are going to be your main website articles. And then your blog posts are going to relate to that. So you're going to have blog posts that give great information about 5 ways to take care of your trees in the spring. That blog post would then link back. It's all based around how your clients are searching for you on a regular basis. So I can't stress that enough. You really do need to do your keyword research, which we will be talking about in a couple minutes. And then there's the technical aspects of your SEO. Now, I just want to say that everything on this list you can do yourself. And if you, as I said before, I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I would recommend, since you have the time, and there are some great SEO experts in this area that can help you, have a conversation with the person that designed your website or is taking care of some tasks for you now. Page speed, how quickly your page loads on your website, is really important for SEO. Google doesn't want you to have a slow website because Google cares about the search experience. And since we all have the attention span of a gnat these days, Google really does feel that searchers won't tolerate a slow loading website. You also need to make sure that you have a responsive website. This means that no matter how I look at your website, I could look at it on a huge computer screen, I can look at it on my phone, I can look at it on my laptop. Your website adapts to the device that I am looking at it on. So in the old days, we would put up a website and it didn't really matter what it looked like. We were just all excited that it would display on our phone. Now Google actually, part of their algorithm is making sure that the searcher can have the best experience no matter what type of device that they are on. You also need to submit your sitemap to Google. So this can be done in WordPress through a plugin. It can be done a bunch of different ways. Again, if you want to learn more about these, there's tons of YouTube videos on it. Just make sure you're looking at credible people, or they're very easy tasks to have done for you. Broken links. There is a way that you can run a report on your website to handle broken links. You need to know where those links are. Google likes, obviously, speed, and they like accuracy, so they don't want to see that you have broken links on your site. I already went over the stats a little bit. Again, that kind of floats in content and technical, because a lot of people consider stats to be technical because they hate them, but I just wanted to put it here again. Duplicate content, I put that as a technical SEO issue. It's something that Google is looking for behind the scenes. So here's the best way to describe duplicate content. If you have a page of content out there on the internet, it can only appear once. So I used to write for the Huffington Post. Those blog posts were some blood, sweat, and tears that went into them. It was some of the best writing I've ever done. I owned the content. I shared it on Huffington Post, but I was not allowed to use that content then on my personal blog. Now you may say, wait a minute, Jen, you own that content. Why the heck couldn't you use it? Well, because Google doesn't like the same piece of content to appear in two different places. And when they look at Jen Gardella and they look at the Huffington Post, they'll consider the Huffington Post more credible. They'll see I copied the content, and they will then penalize my site in some way. No duplicate content. This also relates to your bios that are written around the web, your bios that you may have on other websites that you own, bios on directories. So be careful with duplicate content. And the last aspect of technical SEO that I just want to go over is metadata. Again, this does relate to your content, and I'll be talking about ways to do metadata in a little bit. The big piece of metadata, if you have a WordPress website, download a plugin called Yoast, and it handles the metadata. Your metadata is a little snippet of information that has keywords in it that allows Google to know exactly what that piece of content is about. So every piece of content on your website should have metadata attached to it. Whew. Okay, so I want to start by saying that keyword research is the first place that you need to start with when you are trying to increase your SEO. Nothing drives me crazier that when a new client comes my way, they have a fancy website that was just done for them, spent $5,000 to $10,000, and I say, okay, great, where's the keyword research that was done for the website when it was built? And they say, what keyword research? Every single thing that you do on the internet, whether it's a blog post, social media post, anything that you're doing to try to build this digital foundation needs to start with keyword research. And keyword research starts with your ideal client. Who is it that you're trying to reach? And then how are they trying to find you? So a keyword are the words and phrases that they use to try to find or that they put into the search engine when they're looking for services like yours. Keywords can be long-tailed, short-tailed, and question-based. So it could be one word. So we have someone on the call, well, they signed up, that does diabetes. They sell some sort of diabetes equipment to help manage glucose levels. Short-tailed keywords for them would look like diabetes management, help with managing my glucose. Longer-tailed, question-based keywords that they need to be focusing on are, how can I better manage my glucose levels? How can I get rid of the needles involved in managing my glucose levels? Those are the directions that I would go in when I would start to manage their keyword research and start to walk down that path. We also have a realtor that signed up for today's presentation. I've worked with a lot of realtors. I've also sold a lot of properties and bought some as well. So I really love to work with realtors because I love the game of real estate. Individuals are out there looking for help. How do I sell my house quickly? How do I sell my house in this current market? Is it a good time to sell my house? How do I get my house ready for sale? They're also looking to purchase. So they want information on school districts and good places to live and what should I look for when purchasing a house. So as you dive into your keyword research, those are the questions and the keywords that you are going to want to have. Now, when you start your keyword research, it's really easy. Just get out a piece of paper if that's what you want to do, or start a Google spreadsheet or a Google Doc or a Word document or an Excel file. A big piece of keyword research is also your geographic areas. Where do you work? So if you are that real estate agent and you only work in the Bucks County area, write the towns that you want to specialize in. Write Bucks County into your marketing materials online. Make sure that you are grabbing people looking and searching on those geolocators. Doylestown real estate attorney, Doylestown realtor. So you see, that's how people are looking. And in many fields, they're looking for the best. Who's the best realtor? And so you can actually write into your website, if you are out here on Google looking for the best realtor. That's the way that I kind of want you to position some of your content. There's also a staffing agency that signed up for this webinar, and I can't tell you, you are now in the golden era of putting phenomenal content to help people understand how to write a resume and how to go about finding a job in this economy, or the economy that we're going to emerge into, which we don't even know what that looks like. But the more that you can help people now, the more they'll trust you when they need your services or when things start to shape up in the future. The name of your company should be a focus of your SEO. So I do put some time into Jennifer Gardella, my name. And if you are a realtor, if you are a personality, if you are an author, if you are a consultant, it's certainly important to get your name out there so that it ranks in Google. So when people are looking for you, that's important. And if you have the name of your company, so Jonathan Mercer, who owns Stacks, which is a co-working space that I'm a part of in Doylestown, Stacks is certainly a word that people will be searching on when they hear it. Do not think that people are searching on your name, because if they don't know that you exist, it's your services that they are actually searching for. So for instance, in the case of Jonathan, when he is writing the digital marketing for Stacks, he's going to include things about co-working. And we were joking yesterday that he can actually be doing a lot of funny things right now because we're all home working with our spouses, and God knows I would love to be at Stacks. So there's some great information that he can be putting out there about getting communities of small business owners together now online and then being available to them later on. All of that should be keyword driven. Now, you may be asking yourself, Jen, how do I find my keywords? So first of all, it's your core business areas. What do you do? Again, for my landscapers, it's lawn mowing, tree trimming, tree pruning, planting, weeding, all of that. What do you want to be known for? So many clients come to me and they say, hey, these are my core business areas, but I'd really like to be known for this. Well, whatever it is that you want to be known for, those are part of your keywords as well. A big piece of keyword research is, again, those questions. What questions do you commonly ask and answer for your clients? If you really get stuck, you can look at your competitors, those individuals who are showing up on the first page of Google in your place that you want. What are they writing about on their websites that's allowing them to capture that first page? Don't forget about the geolocators. And I'm going to now give you 4 great tools that you can use to do your keyword research. It's a little confusing when you start. And I always like to say, start, go in, get confused, and then get out and ask your questions. And again, there's tons of time right now, so feel free to call me if you get stuck in any of these areas. The first is Google AdWords. Set up a Google AdWords campaign and go in and poke around and look for the keywords that you want to rank on. What this means is that you go in and you find out, okay, I want to rank on pizza in Doylestown, the best pizza shop in Doylestown. Find out what that keyword looks like in the Google AdWords platform and look for the most expensive keywords associated with pizza store, pizza shop, best pizza. The next the next website that I want to direct you to is a website called Answer the Public. So Answer the Public is a website where you put in a keyword and it gives you sometimes thousands of questions that could be used with that keyword. You'll then be able to use those questions in a Google search and see what pops up. It is a great resource. Now, this one I'm really excited about, this next one, Ubersuggest. Ubersuggest is run by, I would say, the #1 SEO expert that I go to when I have questions. His name is Neil Patel, and just last night I received an email from Neil saying that he was opening up parts of Ubersuggest. Parts of it are always free, but Neil is now opening up even more of it to small business owners to be able to do their keyword. Now, it is a ton of information on Ubersuggest, but it is a phenomenal tool when it's normally free. It's even better now because he's opened up more parts of it to you. And then WordStream also has a free keyword research tool that you can use. It's really good. Again, use these as tools in the beginning to get going in keyword research. And well, once you get used to them, you can stop back in and see how they're doing. Okay, the next big piece is an editorial calendar. I know that many of you don't really like to plan. Some of you have actually seen me speak before. As I looked over the list of people who are joining us today, I've seen a lot of names. So this is nothing new. Your editorial calendar is your plan. It allows you to plan out your content for the year. It also allows you to plan your keywords into that content, which is great opportunity. So you can use an editorial calendar to plan out your social media posts, your blog posts, and your new website articles, and plan out what keywords are important during that time. If you want a blog post to rank for Valentine's Day, something about loving your business, you want to plan out that blog post so that you remember to write it in January. The other thing that you can plan on your editorial calendar are your newsletters, your pictures, your videos, which we're going to talk about, any quotes, any LinkedIn long posts, and any PowerPoints for SlideShare that you intend to put up. Having a plan and then planning in those keywords and then actually executing it all will really help you with all of this. So what are you going to write about? Like, what's going to go on that editorial calendar? Well, the first thing is evergreen content. What are the website articles that you need planned into your website? So if you've realized now that you don't have the website articles of your core business areas, now is your time to write them in. So a big question that we're all asking ourselves is, should I write about the coronavirus? Remember, hopefully soon, the coronavirus isn't going to be the big story. So if you are writing evergreen content for your website about the coronavirus, eventually you are going to want to take it down or at least edit it out. I would recommend, if you are going to write about coronavirus right now, it should be directly related to your business. So one of our Stacks friends, Jo Leonard, she helps students as they are trying to get into college. She also helps young adults as they start launching. What this looks like for her is the whole game has changed now over these next couple months for Jo. So it's prudent for her to write some evergreen content, or I'm sorry, some blog posts that will be included on her website. For instance, how to write a resume in this environment, how to apply for college. She could actually be changing the evergreen content on her website, but that's then going to have to be removed. You can always be writing a part of your story. So what is it about you? Why do you love what you do? Why do you do what you do? Like, I have a really interesting story and I drip it into my content over time, and it's included in my editorial calendar. So the next piece is going to fill your editorial calendar. That I can guarantee you. It's the 5x5 or the 10x10. What are the 5 questions that your ideal clients ask when they call you? What are the 5 questions that they should be asking when they call you? Now, if you have more than 5, you can obviously do 8x8, 10x10. I don't care. It's just remembering the 5 that they ask and the 5 that they should be asking. Now, most of these will relate to time and money. How long is this going to take, and how much is it going to cost me? The other thing that you could do is tips. People love tips. So make sure that throughout the year you have a lot of tips planned. You can do client testimonials written into your blog post. You should plan those out. I'll talk about testimonials in a minute. You can also do staff testimonials, a day in your life of a staff member. You can write about the who, what, when, where, and why of your business. Plan it out in your editorial calendar and start to outline it. My point here in much of this is you want to talk about in all of your content how you help your ideal clients and how you solve their pain points. Now, if you need even more inspiration, there's a lot of research to suggest that longer case studies are great for SEO. News stories are phenomenal. Now, obviously, you don't know what the news stories of the day are going to be, but they're great to put into your blog. You can introduce a new employee. People love to see who they're going to be working with on the phone, who's going to show up at their house to mow their lawn. You can explain a term. So if there is a term that people are going to hear when working, if whatever it is that you do, make sure that it's explained somewhere on your website. I wouldn't ever recommend that you do a lot of jargon writing because people will get bored and they don't explain it, but explain terms. Your ideal client. Write a blog post or put some information on your website about who you like to work with. That can be a very powerful post. You can write your elevator speech. My buddy Laura Templeton can help you with that. She has a lot of great information on her website, 30 Second Success. So write your elevator speech and record it in a video, right? That is a very powerful way to get some good SEO content about you out there. Again, write about how your job relates to your life. Why do you love doing it? I'm a laptop entrepreneur. I can work anywhere for my clients. And as we're learning today, I can actually do presentations for groups of people. Whole new market just opened up for me. So how does that relate to your life? The issues of what you do, what can happen, the problems that can occur, and why you are the expert to solve them. There's also, I would recommend the one way that you can help solve a particular problem that no one else does. One of the claims that I make is that when I work with a client, no one can put out a better digital marketing strategy than I can. So that's a big claim. I can back it up. But what's the one way that you can help any particular client that your ideal client is having? Any problem, sorry, that your ideal client is having. And then for those of you who are here that sell a particular product, so what does that look like? I know that we have some coffee sellers on the line. I also know that we have someone selling olive oil. So we have a framer. We have an antiques dealer that signed up. Show your products. There's nothing better to help promote what you do than if you actually show the products on your website. Now, inspiration is important. Obviously, this is important. So if you need even more inspiration to help you fill that editorial calendar, look to your competitors. What are they writing about? Look to businesses that are related to you. Look in blog posts in your particular field of expertise and look at the comments if they are taking comments. You can also look on a site called Quora. It's a little hard to navigate, but I do recommend it. There's great information on Quora. We've all heard of the black hole of Reddit. I call it the black hole because you could spend all day on Reddit just researching ideas. You can also look on Twitter. If you know your keywords and you know how to maneuver around Twitter, that's a great one. One way that a lot of people are actually getting some great information for their editorial calendars is looking for books in their area on Amazon and then reading the reviews. What do people like about particular books and topics, and what do they not like? The reviews are actually guiding a lot of people in finding those ideal questions. And then just look at any other websites out there and see how they are writing the content of their own website. So how do you organize an editorial calendar? Well, you just need 12 of something. You need 12 pieces of paper. You need the 12 months, one for each, obviously, month of the year. You can do this in a Google Doc, a Google Excel spreadsheet. You can do it in a Word doc. I highly recommend digitizing it in some way. If you have staff that you're going to be sharing this with, Google Docs can save you because you can easily share it. Don't do your editorial calendar on notes and post-it notes. I did that for years. I had some great ideas and they were everywhere. I want you to get very planful. Don't forget to include information about the seasons, the school calendar. That's a little bit of a joke right now, but we are walking into summer and hopefully there will be a back to school very shortly. Also look for dates that are real. So holidays, I don't really recommend doing anything religious unless that is a very clear part of your business. But do, the generic holidays. Mother's Day is coming up, Father's Day is coming up, and then do those holidays that are a little silly. I always use the word ridiculous. There are tons of websites that can help you find days of the year that are related to your business in some way. There's National Oatmeal Day for those of us who healthy eater. If your business has a healthy eating spin, there's Boss's Day, Secretary's Day, Coworker's Day. There's lots of them out there. So if you find them, you won't miss them and you can work them into your editorial calendar. And then, like I already said, the general holidays. Now, your blog, we're going to move into blogging now. Your blog is one of also the best ways that you can build your social media presence, your SEO presence, and also then have something to share on social media. I will stop and say, only because I've been dealing with this with some of my clients, if you are a small business owner like me and you are going to have a blog, it should absolutely be internal to your website. Remember I said that we want you to start to build a big website. There is a theory out there, and I do work with some SEO companies that build websites for my clients who believe that your blog should be an external site. The theory is that if you are in it for the long-term build, both sites will build up over time and be very well linked. So this is great for linking purposes. The problem that I see in this theory is that you then are building two sites. And for the average small business owner, that's just too much. But again, just know that if you are a high-powered law firm, or that's what you're building, if you're building a larger business, 2 sites can be advantageous, and we should have a conversation about that to hear your goals and where you're going. For most of us, we're going to have an internal component on our website acting as our blog. It's really easy if you have a WordPress website to activate that blog super quickly. Consider when you're finding a blog, formatting, the ability to add graphics. You don't need to know how to do it yet. There's plenty of information out there on how to teach you how to do that, but you want to be able to add graphics, pictures, videos. You want to make sure that you have a universal font that's programmed in, that's very easy to do as well. Take down comment control. Blogs these days are hard to control in the comments. I like to take all the comments out on social media. You want people to be able to subscribe to your blog, and you also want very easy social sharing buttons. When I come onto your website and I look at your blog and I read your blog and I like it, it should be very easy for me to share that blog. Now, there are some of you on here who are in the financial space, and I have worked with clients who are financial planners. You may be in the mortgage business. There was a couple of you that had registered. You may not have the ability to have your own website and blog on that website. You also have compliance issues, so make sure that whatever you do out in the digital space, you are definitely following compliance. But if you think that you can handle working through compliance, or if you are someone who doesn't have control of a website, there are many resources for you in where you can create a blog. You can do WordPress.com, you can do Google Blogger, you can do movable type, you can actually just use LinkedIn if you want. Again, making the right decision on what's going to work for you is really important, and we can have a conversation about that and work out what's best for you. Okay, so if you want to do a general website audit, I would first go in, make sure Google Analytics is set up. Also, Google Analytics is something that you should be looking at on a regular basis. I will share that last year I did not look at Google Analytics for a few months on my own website, and it turns out that Google Analytics wasn't working properly. So I lost months of data, and to my little PhD mind, when I was ready for that data, it was a really big problem. So make sure your Google Analytics is working. Make sure people are visiting in your website. If people are not visiting, well, the data will tell the tale, and then you have some issues that we need to help solve. If you're doing your website audit, make sure that your core business areas are very clearly spelled out in website articles, and keywords are naturally dropped in. We also want to make sure that your site is responsive, and if it's not, that should be one of your top priorities. Your blog is internal. I also want to make sure that you have social media share buttons, again, so people can easily share your content. And here's a big one that people miss. Make sure that on your website you have social media connect buttons. I want people on your bio on your website to be able to connect very easily with your LinkedIn profile, with your Facebook page, with your business Twitter account. Put them in the header, put them in the footer, and then put them in your bio page as well. Make it easier for people to then go out and find you where they want to hang out with you in the digital world. Now, I'm going to say here that the content that you're going to create, because we're going to move into blogging, but the content that you want to create should only be high quality. Don't think that you can do content out there just for the sake of slapping it up. The best example I have of this, don't create a blog post and then take a PDF of that blog post and slap it up on SlideShare just to get the SEO bang back to your website. Or don't just take a quick video, I've actually seen this, of a blog post and put it up on YouTube. That really isn't high quality content. It's not going to help anybody. And what we want to do is make sure that you have the measures in place so that instead of just creating content for the sake of content, you actually create higher quality content. So I'll get off my soapbox on that one. So let's move into blogging, because this is something that you guys can absolutely be doing now. Why do you want to blog? Well, number one, it increases your SEO of your website. We know that. It adds pages to your website. It gives you the ability to show your personality. I'll stop here and say that when you write a blog and you do a video on it and you embed that video into your blog, it's not only SEO gold, but people can then read and they can see you right there talking about the subject. So your personality just shines through. It allows you to highlight your expertise, comment on news-related articles, and again, it builds that know, like, and trust factor. There's more. Blogging can drive traffic to your website. When we have great blogs written on your website and we share them on social media, people then click on the blog and you get that SEO help boost as well. It allows you to connect with and give your current clients, volunteers, your donors, exposure out there, which can be great. It builds up the content of your website in a more casual voice. Your website articles, what you do, tend to be nuts and bolts kind of writing, but your blog, again, shows that casual voice. It can increase awareness about what you do. It can create a body of knowledge so people can come in. Like I mentioned Neil Patel. Neil Patel has created a body of knowledge for SEO that is invaluable. When I need SEO help or when I have a question, that is the first place that I go. It shows that you're on top of it. It shows that you're on top of changes. It shows that you're on top of the news, and it allows you to share happenings in your field in a way like no other. Now, I'm going to go through some nuts and bolts pieces of blogging and also some easy steps to blogging. Have an editorial calendar and set aside time each week to be outlining in that editorial calendar. A well-planned out editorial calendar, then you use that when you're ready to write an actual blog. You're not staring at a blank screen. You've probably already outlined a little bit of it, and you will hit the ground running and be ready to write. And again, you won't miss any of those events. Your topic needs to be tight. What tends to happen, like in my case, where you sit down and you're like, okay, I'm going to write a blog on social media. Well, you could write 10,000 words on social media. What I do with my blogs is I take about 350 to 500 words for any blog post. And I continually narrow down the topic that I want to write about. Your title should be SEO focused. It should solve a problem somewhere in there. Do not put any industry jargon in your blog writing. Make sure that you edit and edit again. Add in pictures, add in video, take time for those technical pieces of SEO like I mentioned with the meta descriptions, which Yoast can help you with. And be careful with your CTAs, your call to actions. It's great if you say somewhere in your blog post, I can help you with this, please schedule a call. The problem is that Google really doesn't like that kind of writing repetitively. So what we want you to do is have varied, very soft CTAs. They can be images that people can click on to get your phone number or book a call with you, but don't put that salesy jargon in there. Google doesn't like that. So my biggest tips for blogging are to keep it simple. I will, on my score page on my website, put a link for you to my blogging outline. I also shared this on my telesummit, but I want you to really keep it simple. It's an opening paragraph, 3 supporting paragraphs, and a close. And then I want you to publish at a natural rate. You, sure enough, can go and hire someone to write 100 blogs and dump them on your website. That really wouldn't do a whole heck of a lot for your SEO. Google wants you adding fresh content on a regular basis. Remember, write for your audience, not for the search engine. Write for the way that your audience is trying to find you. Write in plain English. I have a lot of clients who are absolutely brilliant, hysterical writers that can write great content, but the problem is that they write with words that are too big. And when people are out there looking for your goods and services, many of you, they need you. So we want you to be able to be found very quickly. So know your audience, relevant topics, edit your stuff, then edit again, and do not be scared to show your personality. So this is something that the easiest way to blog that I have ever found. What I want you to do is download a voice recorder to your phone. I am shocked that I have not been doing this for years. Friends of mine have mentioned it, and I've recently found this as a very easy way to blog. So there's several apps that you can use. One is just the voice recorder app. You can also use the Otter AI app. And old Dragon, which has turned into something called Nuance, is also available to you. Now, I will stop and say that when you use the Otter AI app, it runs off of your Wi-Fi. So just make sure that, or it'll chew your data plan. So that's something to consider. Have an outline of what you're going to blog, and then walk around and just talk into your phone. This is crazy easy, right? I've been using it. It does take a while to get used to because you are speaking into something and not seeing the words appear, but it is absolutely the easiest way to blog. Now you need to have that audio transcribed. If you're using Otter AI, since you're inside on Wi-Fi all day right now, that shouldn't be a big deal. It will automatically transcribe as you talk. If you're using voice recorder, you're going to have to download the audio file and then just upload it into Otter AI. So you have to have it transcribed, and I do use Otter for that as well. It is free. It gives you 600 free minutes on every month of transcription. So there's tons of space for you to do a lot of blogging. Then all you do is you take the transcription, put it into a Word document, and you edit it, and you actually have the basis of a blog. Now, when you first start to do this, you have to get rid of all the ums and likes and stuttering. You may stop and start several times, but just be sure that this is the absolute easier way to blog, and it's much better than staring at a blank screen. Now you have something to share away on social media. It will drive traffic back to your website when you share something on Facebook or LinkedIn. If you have the right number of connections, which is a whole nother presentation, it drives traffic back to your website. Be careful though, don't write a blog and then share it everywhere at the same time. So on Facebook, this is a big issue of mine. So on Facebook, you might want to share a blog every Tuesday, and LinkedIn, you might want to share a blog every Wednesday. Don't write one blog and blast it out there because it looks really spammy when you do that. Now, that's the importance of blogging. So we've gone over keyword research, your editorial calendar, blogging. Now let's talk about Google My Business. If you're wondering why you don't rank on the map section of the Google search page, it's because you haven't set up or optimized your Google My Business page. You need a Google account, log into Google My Business, fill in all the areas. And I have to say here, that's not in the slides. What I want you to, it's going to have to be verified in some way. So Google is either going to have to send you a postcard to verify it. They sometimes do verifications over the phone if they already have your phone number in their system. This is your maps listing. So the trick is, if the right keywords are written into your maps, into your Google My Business page, and also then if you are posting to that Google My Business page often, meaning you are sharing your blog posts to your Google My Business page with the right keywords in those listings, you will have a greater chance of ranking. Now, reviews are also a big part of this. So the more reviews you have, obviously we want high quality 5-star reviews on there. The more reviews you have on your Google My Business page, the better. So dedicate some time to asking your current customers or clients, even past customers, clients, hey, can you go in and review on our Google page? And we're going to talk about that in a minute as well. I just want to stop here and say that social media, again, there is some evidence to show that social media indicators can help with SEO. Also, people will search within the LinkedIn space and within Facebook. It's indirect at this point, in my opinion, but important because it also shows your brand, grows your brand, and someone sees something that you post on Facebook, they may be more likely then to follow that back to your website. Social media, obviously, especially in today's environment, allows you to connect with people who naturally want to learn more about you and gives you a place to share and find people. LinkedIn, I'm just going to go over the 3 big ones that are easiest to get started in. LinkedIn allows you to share your blogs. LinkedIn is technically business related. I wouldn't really go sharing a ton of information about your personal life on LinkedIn. I have tried to do some personal LinkedIn long posts in the past that have heard nothing. I heard crickets once I posted them. But when you post great relevant business information, LinkedIn can really drive a lot of traffic to your website. Your Facebook business page, share blogs and other relative content there. Twitter is a completely different audience. You can definitely share content, but make sure that you know how to use your hashtags. That's all I'm going to say about social media right now. So YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google. So when we When Google gives us a toy to play with, I always say we play in the Google sandbox. So when you have an optimized YouTube channel with great videos that float around your core business areas, those videos will rank in YouTube. People love YouTube. Now, for those of you who have heard me speak in the past, you know I have said that I do not like watching videos on YouTube. I have actually come to the other side of it, especially short videos that help me solve one quick problem. So when I go looking for help with my ClickFunnels account, if I can find a short video based on exactly what I want, oh my gosh, I'll watch the video and it's like a tutorial right there. The best way that you can shoot a video, you can have this done in a couple of minutes. Once you have your YouTube channel set up, shoot your video off your iPhone, upload it to YouTube, make sure you fill out all of the areas, the tags, write a description, and then you can embed that video on your website, and it's phenomenal to share on social media. YouTube videos should be a little bit longer, a minimum of 2 minutes. That's when Google starts to index it. Practice this. All of the best YouTubers will say that it took many, many tries before they were completely comfortable in front of the camera. You can actually have a script. Don't read from a script, but have a script. Believe it or not, sometimes I tape some just general points right up on my computer as I'm going through YouTube. And the #1 secret to making a great YouTube video is don't watch it. I get the heebie-jeebies when I have to sit and watch my own YouTube videos. I don't like to watch myself on video, and no one ever said that you have to. You know when you record a video if you've got the content or not, so please don't drive yourself crazy making sure your hair is perfect. Oh, I didn't like the way I said that one word. Just upload it as quickly as possible. Get it out there. Now, back to reviews and testimonials. I actually did a presentation at the end of last year for SCORE on reviews and testimonials. Again, if you're just starting to increase your SEO presence, reviews on Google are very, very important. You can also take them on Facebook and Yelp. If you are a restaurant here today, you absolutely want to make sure that you claim your Yelp listing and that you ask people to review you on Yelp. It's really important. Do not set up a computer in your office, in your restaurant, or don't bring a computer to a client's house and ask, well, especially now, but anyway, and use that one computer for people to write reviews for you on any of the platforms, because there will be an IP address issue, and especially Google will discount them. You want to be able to send people a very simple set of directions on how they can write a review for you. You can even write it for them and send it to them as something that they can use. Don't let anybody else control your profiles. So on all of these profiles, people can actually upload pictures and testimonials without you ever having claimed them. So make sure Google, Facebook, and Yelp are claimed. Now, I will just throw this out there and say, my opinion, don't offer a discount for a good review. Personally, I think that's a little tacky, and you want very authentic reviews. Okay, so we're almost at the end here. Some of you have completely had it at this point, I'm sure, and are overwhelmed. Don't forget, all this information is available on my website for you to go back and watch this over and over again until you understand most of it. But we want to talk to you about measuring success, and I want you to be able to set some very reasonable goals. Now, for some of you, setting a goal is going to look like writing one blog post in the next week. And if you haven't done that in the number of years that your business has been up, writing one blog post is a tremendous goal to achieve. Make sure that Google Analytics is guiding your goals eventually so that you can track visitors and page views. Google Analytics does drill down to how many people visit one page. So you share a blog post, you can actually track who visits that one individual blog post. You want to be tracking leads through your SEO efforts. You can track subscribers to your newsletter, links that come in. Remember, inbound linking is phenomenal for SEO. How many of those are you getting? And also your social media shares. How many times are your blog posts being shared out there on social media? So steps to take right now. You have the time. You want to build your business. You want to build a significant digital foundation. Write a blog post. As you start to write, you'll realize you probably have to do a little bit of research, keyword research, so do that. Remember, this is not an exact process that has to be perfect to get it started. Just start. So start to do your research. keyword research, start your editorial calendar. You can just, again, put down the 12 months of the year. You can have, during this time, ask a few people for reviews. I just did a video in my telesummit about asking someone to review you on LinkedIn. That's a great place to get recommendations and reviews right now. You can make a simple video today and about what it is that you do and upload it to YouTube. And absolutely, if you are a local business, a hyper-local business with a storefront, open and optimize your Google My Business page and get that up and running. Okay. My links are blue, they should be white. But anyway, connect with me. You can find me on my website, jennifergardella.com. You can also email me, Jennifer at the Gardella Group, and I'm very easy to find on LinkedIn. Just type in Jennifer Gardella and my profile will appear. And I love to connect with people. If you're someone that's trying to build your LinkedIn connections and you're scared, because a lot of people are like, what's going to happen when I send this first LinkedIn connection request? I'm a great person to do that with. And book a call. If you want to go over to my website, jennifergardella.com, on the top navigation bar, all the way at the right, there's a space where you can find a good time for you in my calendar. It's right there. I make it very, very easy, and I am available to answer all your questions about this topic or anything else having to do with digital marketing. So that's it, Jennifer at the Gardella Group or jennifergardella.com. How'd I do? Look at that. It's 9:30 exactly.
That's great. Thank you very much. There are a few questions.
Yeah, I see. I've seen the Q&A pop up a couple times.
Yeah. So the first one is from a participant named Nick. And he says, you mentioned a number of things that Google does not like, implying that it penalizes websites somehow. What does that mean? What can Google do in these cases?
Well, Google can shut down your website. So if you are violating Google law, if you're violating the algorithm, if you're doing what's known as black hat techniques behind the scenes, you can be penalized in Google. They can either take on your website, well, they can really just take it off the first page of Google search results. So we want to make sure that you are doing all what's known as white hat techniques, which are all the things I talked about today. So remember when I mentioned that there are companies that will guarantee you first page rankings in Google, more than likely they're doing something behind the scenes that could get you shut down.
Thank you. Question from Michelle. You mentioned compliance rules and regulations. How do we know these?
Okay, so Michelle, that's a great question. I mentioned it because I do know that there were people that signed up for this webinar who are in the financial industry space in some way, whether they're mortgage brokers or financial planners. They have significant compliance. So if you have that level of compliance that's already tied to your license to practice, you probably know it already. So I would check in with any licenses that you have and see. But if you're in the financial space, you already know what they are.
Great. Jillian asked, if we are a restaurant, I assume she is a restaurant, how would I make my ideal customer? What we want, I don't know, everything, everyone obviously, we make sure that we offer all food options so that we can feed everyone in the family. So who is your ideal customer?
Me. Come feed my family. There's a lot of people here. So when you are a restaurant, and this will come about in your keyword research, but it depends on what you offer. So if people are looking, as I think I mentioned, the best pizza shop, great places to eat in Doylestown, you will absolutely want to be capturing people who are looking because they're visiting the area. Right? So they're looking for the best or specific type of meal. They may want Indian that night. Make sure that those words are written into your website about the types of foods that you offer. And then a big piece of what restaurants need to be doing more is posting information on social media. Okay.
Alyssa asks, can you go over what NAP is?
Yep. So I had mentioned
Besides what I'm going to be doing in about 10 minutes.
So NAP, I know, right? NAP NAP, name, address, phone number, is the name, address, phone number of your business needs to be standardized across any profile that you set up, your Google My Business page, your website. It needs to be standard. Google doesn't like you to have street, so the word street, or ST, different places. If you are really trying to maximize your SEO efforts, it's worth it to drill down to that level of detail.
Great. So I want to combine these two questions. I think I understand what Mary is asking. I think she is a realtor and she has a website provided by the company, which I assume is the all-encompassing real estate company. Does this matter that it is not designed for me?
Okay, so this is a great question for realtors out there. So you will have a property, a website property that is given to you, regardless of who you work for. You'll have a bio set up there. You also have the ability of, as a realtor, and I would highly recommend you do this, set up a separate website. Again, I've worked with many realtors who have done this so that you can start to showcase your expertise. It gives you, as a realtor, the ability to own a body of content around the expertise that you have in helping people buy and sell homes.
Great. I think the last question, I would hope you've answered this one. It was put in very early from Jillian. What exactly do you mean when you say blogging? When you say blogging, I think of a personal blog. I think
Yes.
you covered that one.
Yeah, so you can do blogging personally, and I do that on my website, My Steps in Time. I should probably do more of it, but you also should have a blog for your business page. If you go back and you review this presentation and you still don't get it, absolutely book a call with me, and we'll go over great examples for your particular business. And I can't stress that enough. So much of this is based on your particular business for each of you. So, and I'm happy to help you in each of those, whatever it is that you're stuck on.
Great. And our last question, which is a great one from Francis, how does one address the phantom bad review or comment since there's no identification of the poster or a reviewer leaves a 1-star without comment?
So I will tell a story here. I had a client who received a bad review, a 1-star review with some very negative words in it on Christmas Eve a couple of years ago. And she had not done what I had told her. So the best way to address a negative review is to have so many reviews on your listings that they get buried very quickly. Google, Yelp, Facebook they've made it very, very hard for you to have a negative review removed. Many of my attorney clients haven't been able to do it. So the best way to address bad reviews is to have so many other reviews that it doesn't really matter. Sorry for the noise in the background. I think someone's now doing the dishes. I'll try to cover my face.
Oh, we just got one more from
Yep.
Ken. Will it be considered duplicate content if you post the same blog on LinkedIn, Facebook, and your website? How do we best differ that content?
Okay, so Ken, this is a great question. So what you're doing is you're posting the blog on your main website. So I don't know what you do, but let's just say it's a blog about how this is a great time of year to sell a house. You're then going to take that blog and share the link on Facebook and LinkedIn. So you're not sharing the full content on Facebook and LinkedIn. You're just sharing a link to that blog on LinkedIn. I hope that answers your question.
All right. Thank you. I think that wraps things up. Make sure you check out Jennifer's website, her YouTube page. It's chock full of valuable information. And if you get a chance, look at buckscounty.score.org. And thank you for attending. Stay tuned and go to our website for our next exciting webinar. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Charlie?